Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back.
Look at us getting along like this.
We've done it now, or just so you guys know, we've committed for 3 weeks. This is our third week.
Yeah, I feel like it's gotten to a point where I'm like, Alex, when are we recording? And I was like, it's like I thought I would fight it more, but
She looks forward to it.
I'm starting to look forward to it. This morning I woke up, I got a good night's sleep, and I started thinking about okay, what's the design gonna look like? I started my business mind kind of started to tick this morning, and I was really very excited.
I love that. I love that because there's nothing more that I wanted. Like I said in I think the first episode, that I just want to work with my friends, and I think it's really fun. Not that this is work, but maybe it could be one day.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
I love it.
Maybe people want to listen to us just enough that we can make it work, but
I think we're funny.
I think we're both funny as well. Anyways.
Anywho, if you didn't laugh then, you probably should leave now. So
no, stay. Don't go. All right, we'll be serious. We'll try to be serious, but we're just thankful that if you're still here, you're still listening, we're getting along, we're trucking along,
we're committed.
Yeah, and it makes me excited.
To ourselves, to our chasing goals, and leading into that.
How do you identify, at what point does your brain, I'm in a rut, I need to change this, kind of tip over? When does that, kind of turn over for you?
I think the moment that I do something I know is not going to benefit my following day or maybe that same day. I think I'm pretty much aware of when I'm doing it that I probably shouldn't be, but I'm choosing the easy way out because to me, it's like everybody, I think, right? We enjoy instant gratification. Most of the things that get me into my ruts are instant gratification things. I don't want to say no in that moment to the food that's unhealthy, or I don't want to say no to going out because I know that I'll relax, or I won't think as much, or I won't say no to going out with friends when I have projects. I have things that I can get done.
We all have things we should be doing besides the thing that we're actually doing majority of the time.
So I think every single time that I do one of those things, I'm can I let it slide for a day? And then it spirals, right? But what is so interesting is doing this has kind of made me more accountable. So I'll do those things, but I won't feel bad because I'll be well, I have to show up for you. Mm-hmm. I have to show up for myself because this is something that I said I wanted. And I don't think my mindset was ever in such a stronger place than it is right now. So I would say that having something that you're truly passionate about makes you want to show up for yourself more.
Do you think, because we talked a little bit about this yesterday, and because Alex has seemed in such a great place recently, and I'm what is your secret? No, we still have those conversations. Is as much as you, it's I feel I know the answer, but you're always seeking it from someone else. And when you see someone else kind of being enlightened or having this shift, I feel her mentality has shifted a little bit here recently, that it's inspiring, and you want to kind of oh, well, what did you do? Tell me how you got out of it. Tell me what your secrets are. We always think it's some secret, but it's really not. But I'm curious, is it because you're doing it with me that you feel that extra pressure just a little bit? If you were doing the podcast by yourself, do you feel you would have this sense of deeper, yeah, you have this ownership to it, but you're also now accountable to me because you're the one that's hey, let's do this. And yes, of course I'm on board. I think it's a great idea. But do you think if you were going to do it by yourself, you would have ever started?
I think it would have been hard for me to start because I enjoy the the team effort behind it, and the conversation. Like it's like the combative. It's not combative. I don't know how to describe. It's like the way I imagine it is like tennis. You don't play tennis by yourself. You play tennis with a person. So you have to. Like it's a team sport, and that's how I view a lot of things that make me more passionate. I view it as like a team sport. I'm not really that person that's like I want to do everything by myself. Like I can do it by myself, but that's not what makes me extremely happy. Like I know I work best when I can help either lead a team, like I said it before, like I like being in charge and I like mentoring and I like working in a team environment to bounce ideas off, right? Like listening to you talk makes me enlightened more and brings my awareness to this point where I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Because I feel like if I was to do it by myself, I would only think that I'm right. Like no one else is going to tell me other than maybe like the people watching that I'm wrong. But then I'm like, well, I don't know you.
Yeah. That's true. I think there is a level of just it's how like when you collaborate with someone, it takes on like it's a unique essence, I feel like, because and I feel like sometimes when I had my small business, I was missing that, and it didn't help me project forward or get farther. I felt like it actually hindered me. So having an accountability partner, people talk about those all the time, I think is good. But when you're also like collaborating in a creative space, and then also a space where we respect the thoughts of each other, and you're like, oh, that's a unique perspective. Let me kind of consider that, because she's known what I've been through and like, you know, maybe some struggles I've had. She's like, oh yeah, she's probably put some thought into that, you know, it's not just some out of left field like idea, but okay. Like I think doing this together is also helping me, because it's like that accountability is like, I told you I was going to do X by X date. Like, okay, like I got it. Eric's got it. Get her stuff together.
I really think it's not only that, but it's like, it's kind of like school in a way, right? Is how I picture it. It's like we created our own quote unquote curriculum to do this. But we get to work on it as a team. So if whatever part of the project I'm doing, I tell you, hey, can you look at it? Let me know your thoughts. And then you do the same to me. And then it's like we come out with this finished project that we get to share with the world. And like, I've always loved that about the school. Like that was the only part that I really did enjoy too. Clearly I have a trending theme of I like to work with people.
Oh, that's good.
So
yeah. Okay, cool. So like I think you've identified your ruts. You've identified kind of what helps you. Collaborating has definitely helped you get out of some of those, and you know, it's enlightened you.
Yeah, I think recently. The only other thing that has helped has been my mindset. Like every time, like for instance, we went out last night, and despite going out and still waking up this morning being like, I'm really tired. It's a hour later in the day. Like if we didn't have this, I wouldn't have been productive today. And I think it's also being like, well, no, like what's your end goal? And I keep telling myself that every morning is like, what am I trying to accomplish? Because it's bigger than me. Because it's as much as this is for us, like I want to like talk to other people. I want to touch other people. I want to help other people. And like, that's a bigger goal that I need to keep in mind, that it's not just about me. It's about others.
Yeah. And I think as much as we're going through this together, I think it's important for us to keep in mind that as like, for me, I'm in the trenches of my rut, in the trenches. And I don't want to bring people into my trench with me. And that's kind of why sometimes I sit in the trench by myself for so long. It's because I don't want to pull anybody else like into my darkness. Like
Okay.
I don't know if I call it darkness. Like it's not really darkness. It's just kind of like muddied water or fog, very, very thick fog. Like it's
Yeah.
not darkness. It's, but yeah, I think it's good to have that, like that accountability. And I know I also woke up this morning and I was like, okay, told Alex I was going to come over at this time. Yeah. We pushed it by an hour, I think.
Yeah.
We both woke up and we're like, okay, an hour later, please. I was like, yeah, I just woke up. So, but yeah, I think that anything else about like how you get in your ruts or how you know you're in them?
How I know I'm in them. Well, how I know I'm in them is I don't check anything off of my to-do list. So if I have all these things, typically a rut for me is like I don't feel passionate or motivated to do anything bigger than me. So I feel like I was in quote unquote a rut when like if I'm not chasing a career type of title, like then what am I doing? Because I didn't have any outside projects. I didn't have anything that was like motivating me for like a future relationship. And also that wasn't anything that I was in particularly like seeking so heavily at the time, nor now. But I think it's like when I don't have anything and I'm just doing the day to day and I'm just going through the motions and I don't know my why. And I know that so many people say that, and it didn't make sense to me when I was in my like, well, I don't know. How am I supposed to know? You know, like I was there and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So.
Like you're just saying why to me. And I don't know. Like I remember this so clearly. And I'm not going to say that my why won't change, but I can feel that this is right. That what I want as my big why of like, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? Like all of those big, very daunting questions, I like can feel it and it sits well with me. And I think that has helped in my mindset shifting. And I don't think that we were talking about ruts anymore. So sorry.
No, but that's that inspirational part, that little snippet she just gave. I was like, oh, I can't wait to be there.
You
So
will.
That's like mine. So like when I think about my ruts, I try to, I've been working over the last years to be, not let the like the daily, weekly ruts like really impact me.
Yeah.
Cause they say like, would you give like however many seconds are in a day, like would you give someone like more than, like if you had $100 for every second or like $100 for the day, would you give someone $10 of that time or a penny of that time? It's like that whole concept. And I think it's very interesting because like, and I sometimes pride myself in my ability to get over things that are like out of my control.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly. Or I've been working on it and I've definitely seen my progression in that skill. I don't let things impact me as much in the day, but sometimes if I don't deal with them like appropriately, they can like extend or they'll come back like later in the week, or
Got it.
that same person potentially would trigger me again. And it's like, okay, I didn't deal with it. I just kind of like brushed it off, which is good in the moment. But like, if you don't understand why you might feel that way, or like,
Does that get you into your ruts?
so that is like the daily, like just nonsense you have to like deal with to like not allow someone else to impact you and like potentially put you in like a bad day or a bad week.
Okay.
But when I talk about these big ruts, what gets me into them? So the one that I'm like in, it was definitely me closing down my business.
Yeah.
I lost what I thought was my why.
Yeah.
And what I was doing. And I held too much of myself in that business. So it was like losing a big part of myself. And then I'm like, well, who is Erica? Like, I don't know. Who am I now? So that was my recent trigger. But it kind of goes deeper than that. Like, I think even when I had my business, I was questioning a lot of things about my life. But the rut that I'm in and have been in since I closed my business in October 2019. So basically November until now. I know I'm in the rut because I also do this like avoidance thing. And I have funny story. I've been like binge watching anime for the past like 4 months. I actually really enjoy it. Like I used to watch like obviously cartoons and some anime when I was like growing up, but I never had as like an adult. And I started, and one, I just love the storylines. I love the storylines, and I feel like they can kind of, I was like, and I continued to watch them because I was again seeking information or like this enlightening thought from these very like dark, troubled characters that you find in anime.
Yeah.
So I've been like binge watching anime. I don't like work out. I don't eat properly, and I do that whole avoidance thing. And that's when I know I'm like in it, when I have no routine and I don't have like, it's just like subconscious, and I just like turn on Hulu or turn on Netflix. Like, it's just like, okay, I'm home. Boop. Like,
But I still do that. I hope you know. Like I'm not,
and I'm not saying that's okay.
Yeah.
But the way I'm doing it mindlessly, like, okay, we went golfing yesterday,
Yes.
which I don't golf. But I feel like Emily and my mom would be very proud. My sister and my mom would be proud that I did. We went golfing, 9 holes. We only made it to 7. It got dark.
It got dark.
But beside the point. And then we went out to grab like dinner and a drink. Well, I was like super tired. And what did I do? I was like yawning at the bar. I was like so ready to go to bed. As soon as you dropped me off,
Did you watch anime?
I watched anime.
Wow.
Okay, mind you,
I went to bed.
that the where I was at in Naruto was when, okay, spoiler if you do watch Naruto, it's when Jiraiya and Itachi dies. And those are 2 of the most moving parts. Like, I already watched the series. I'm rewatching it, FYI.
Okay.
I'm rewatching the series. And, oh yeah, the characters die. And I'm like, I know, again, spoiler, sorry if you haven't watched it. But I think it's pretty obvious. It's all over the internet that they die. But, oh, you can't like turn off those. Dude, you just can't turn them off. Like, it's just, you have to watch them. Beside the point, watched them last night.
How many episodes did you watch?
Oh, I was almost past that like point of the arc or whatever the like small series is called.
Got it.
And then I went to bed, but I think I only stayed up for an extra like hour and a half.
I'm impressed. The moment I laid my head down.
I know. Well, I'm typically like falling asleep on the couch as I'm trying to watch it, so it's fine. Anyways, I know I'm in a rut. Obviously, I can't even like just go to bed when I'm tired.
So do you think that there's continuous triggers that keep you in it?
I think it's the avoidance. So it's the avoidance of sitting with my own thoughts, one. But then it is also sleep. For me, I realize how much sleep impacts my mental ability to have like very clear thoughts. And like growing up and like going to college, I was always like, oh, you know, like people are like, oh, this like grind mentality, like you don't need sleep. Like, yeah, Eric needs sleep. So I'm realizing I used to stay up until like 3 at coffee shops over in K-Town. And like, I think I probably created a bad habit at that point of my life in college that I continuously do now. Like,
can I ask, when you were in college and you didn't sleep, like, were you really productive at coffee shops? Because mind you, like we went to college together. I knew, like we lived together and I knew she would go to these coffee shops and I'd be like, wow, she's just always working.
No. I mean, I would get distracted. I would kind of lose myself in my own mind and just like, I mean, I wish that I really used that time productively because the things I could have achieved, like, you know, if you actually like have a clear mind, that goes back to the sleep thing. Like if you have a clear mind, if you get sleep, your body has time to take in everything from the day, process it, and then like release it. So like there's all this like built up, there's some scientific term. I don't know the scientific terms, but there is this like chemical release that when you sleep, your body like stores the day's learning
Oh, really?
And then, yeah, it's kind of like, it's like collective baggage throughout the day. If you do not get sleep, it's still there in the morning, and it's still there. And it's like, I'll have to look into it and like the specifics, but there is something very like scientifically proven about that, where it's kind of like you have to wash away the day, but you do that through your sleep. Your brain has time to like aggregate all your thoughts and your learnings, and then you can wake up and actually have a productive, like a clean slate every single morning. But without sleep, you don't get that. So I'm constantly carrying over the baggage from the previous day. And what the previous day was binge watching anime, probably ordering food in, which I, try to save money and cook, but that just is, it's a continuous, like unhealthy habit. So last night, I know I still didn't go to bed right when I got home, but I slept in and I got a total of like 9 hours of sleep last night.
Yay.
This morning when I woke up, I felt so like ready to conquer the day, which I want those days more often.
Yeah.
So I think for me, ruts they can get a little out of control sometimes, but I find myself in days getting myself out of them, but like it's trying to maintain that, I think, is my next step. But today was a good day.
That's great. I love that. Yeah. Can I tell you how I fall asleep nowadays?
How?
Speaking of sleep, it's very strange because I would never do this before, but I put on either meditation music and or sound music, like sleepy music. And then now I wear an eye mask to block out the residual light. And not that my room gets much light, but like I have little electronic things that just glow and things like that. But it's really working out quite well. And I don't ever want to get up. So be worrisome of
you'll want to sleep forever. Is that what you're telling me? Sleeping forever.
Yeah, I definitely want to sleep more.
I need to sleep more, apparently. Yeah, so maybe I'll try an eye mask. I know there's like those like blackout curtains too. I think I want to get curtains for my place.
Yeah.
So that's also something.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. Sleep is important though. Yeah. So do you think that you're currently making any mental steps for, I don't know, now or in the future to get you out of a rut?
Yeah. So currently my two things that I want to do is the sleep. Yes. So I want to prioritize sleep. So hopefully in the coming weeks, I can report back and be like, I've slept very well. And then also like movement. So like going for like a morning walk. And like, I used to be very active and like, I'm still pretty active. The company I work for, we're indoor cycling company. And like, I can work out at the office anytime I really want, which is amazing. And I also have this like fitness goal I'm trying to do for that. And I've been doing them, but I haven't felt good when I do it. I think I'm like trying to push myself into it too hard when I'm not active on a daily basis. So more movement for me. So sleep, trying to pick back up little bits of my old routine that I knew I used to like really enjoy, and then movement. So sleep, movement, and then little bits. I'm trying not to force it too much, but little bits of my routine. Because historically, I am someone who goes from like I try to go from like 0 to 100. So like I'm very like, okay, you have to sleep this time. This is what we're going to meal prep. We're going to do this. We're going to work out so many times a week. Like I try to tackle everything in a single like week, like starting off like, oh, everything has to happen now. I'm working more on maybe a couple things and then building on that, I think is
I like that.
My goal.
I love
so
that.
We'll see how it goes. But
that's great.
Yeah. So that's my rut. That's our ruts. Yes. That is,
I think we have similar ruts, which is what
I feel like everybody does.
Going back to just how I maintain, my mindset, I'm really trying every day to be like, I saw something on Instagram. It was like a two-step factor. Like you have to think about any decision you make in like two steps. So let's say you want to purchase a new TV. Most likely because of that purchase, you're going to want to get the most amount of use out of it. And you're going to want to watch Netflix, sit in front of it and really just sit in front of a TV. So any decision you make tends to have a certain consequence of sorts, right? So you buy TV, you sit and you watch it, then it leads to maybe snacking, then that leads to like staying up late, then that leads, right? Like it could kind of
So it depends on what
snowball.
The 1-2 step is. Like they could be a good 1-2 step.
Maybe. I don't know if TV is necessarily the
Oh no, TV's the
positive
1-2 bad step. But there's probably 1-2 good steps.
There's
like,
good steps. So that's, I think,
you can apply
every
it to
day.
both, but think about potential bad, like not bad, but like hindrance. Like your choices can be hindering you because with a purchase of a TV comes.
Yeah, or let's just say, for example, my weekends. If I want to wake up at 6 and let's say I don't want to go work out, I know that if I don't work out, I'll probably sit and lay down and probably put something on TV. And then that will turn into a full day gone because I won't want to leave my home. And you're right, like I know my cycles. So if I immediately get up, maybe take a cold shower, immediately go to the gym, get a workout class in. Like if I do these steps and consciously I'm like, you might as well just do it because you're going to feel better. You might not like it during it, but you might as well just do it. Like what's the worst that can happen? Are you going to die? No, you're not going to die. You're just going to be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday again a little bit where it's like sometimes the best things is just to do, I think I said it before where it's like, I'm trying to do also in building my routine back up. I'm trying to, or like to get me immediately out of the rut. I'm trying to do exactly the opposite of what I feel like doing.
Yeah.
So like today I was like, someone had texted me yesterday and I was like inviting me to this like event, like that we normally go to all the time, like every single year. And then I was like, oh, like, do I even want to go this year? But I know that was like my rut talking. That was like, I don't want to do it. And then as I was like drinking my coffee, looking out my window, I was like, do exactly the opposite. So I immediately text back. I was like, hey, like, can't wait. Like, even though it felt like in the moment a little disgenuine, I know like once I sent it, I was like, yeah, I'm going to want to do that.
Because you're going to have fun.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, right now I'm doing it in a way where it's like I'm doing the opposite of what I'm feeling like doing. And that's making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you talked about this yesterday where it's like you're trying to put yourself in these uncomfortable situations to, I don't want to call it like force change or force growth. Like, but.
Well, the thing that I specifically said yesterday was I'm trying to challenge myself with things that necessarily are outside of my comfort zone. And that allows me, when I face a true challenge in my day, to take it and it not feel like a challenge, right? Because we live in a very easy world. You can choose the easy option and live your entire life and you don't have to challenge yourself. But if you do challenge yourself, like people on social media that take like ice bath challenges or like go and fast for 40 hours without like any food or, no drink, like don't drink for a year. Like those things, it seems at times silly because so many people do it, or maybe social media doesn't make it seem as like valuable. But what it is allowing that person to do is when they have a challenge that comes up in their own life, they've already been and done something completely worse. Like when you did your marathon, right? Like that's a challenge in itself. And like doing that has allowed you that any other working out, I'm sure you're like, nothing can be worse than like however many miles it is. But like, you know what I mean? Like
But so as you were talking, something that came up, I'm like, so I think the not drinking thing, all those like challenges like that you put on yourself is great. I don't think you have to go drastically in a single direction and like fast for 45 days or like there's probably some really crazy ones out there that TikTok and Instagram have like made popular, but like just be wary of that. Like you don't have to, like that's my point of view is like you don't have to do these challenges. But something that crossed my mind is that, and I think we talked about this before, just like casually in a conversation once, is what completing one of those does, I don't think it's the act of what you're doing. It's because like doing the marathon was something that at the end of it, I was like, it gave me the confidence to be like, I know I could achieve something. So it's like seeing something to its fullest sometimes is all you need.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like building confidence in yourself that like, I've done this. Like we start a bunch of things. I know, or maybe it's just for me, this works, but like something that I think would help me right now is seeing something to its completion in more of a longer term format.
Okay.
So like training for a marathon was one of those things at that time where I was like, all I was doing is training for a marathon. And I feel like in that moment as well, all I wanted to do was, like feel better, but also look better. Like I was like, oh, I could lose like a few pounds, but we always think that we could probably lose a little weight. But at the end of the day, like I lost more weight running and training for that when I wasn't even like that wasn't my goal.
Yeah.
My goal was not to like lose weight or like my clothes to fit better. I was like, I just want to run a marathon. Who knows why? I woke up one day, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And because I saw it to the end, it gave me that like self-confidence to say that I could do that.
Yeah.
And then I could go and apply that.
And you have done it. Not many people do.
I have, but like I will never do another one. I'm more of a half marathon type of a gal. That's like my perfect 13-mile sweet spot. But I think so what I wanted to say is that it's potentially not even like the challenge that you're giving stuff. Like maybe don't put so much impact or emphasis on what that first challenge is. It's just maybe just pick something that you can see to the conclusion.
Yeah.
And in that conclusion, that will give you confidence to go apply it to something else, I think.
I think that's very right. And I told you at the beginning of this year, right? Like I like 30 days because I know I can do something in 30 days. And if I choose something that's too long, I just won't. I'll just get in my head. I'll be like, it's just so far away. Like, it's just so far. Well, like, why? Why did I do this to myself? Why did I? And then I'll just give up. But if I choose 30 days, it's going to create better habits for me. And it gets me out of my rut. And it makes me feel accomplished. And, you know, it could be waking up at 6 a.m., at 9 a.m. Like, it doesn't have to be that crazy of a thing. You don't have to tell anyone else other than yourself. But if you view the thing that maybe makes you feel like not as good about yourself as a challenge, right? Like instead, it's like, oh, that thing doesn't make me feel good. Maybe I'm going to challenge myself to either change that feeling by doing it in this way instead, or challenge myself to view whatever that thing is in a different way. Because it is perspective, right? Like by saying that it's a challenge, it feels like you have something to work for. And it doesn't feel like this thing that makes you feel bad about yourself. Instead, it feels like you have something to accomplish.
Yeah.
So I think it's like how we talk to ourselves, and how I've learned to talk to myself that has made me feel very, very good. And it feels very like inspirational, Erica says, but I just feel, I'm just happy. I'm just so happy that like,
I think what I'm saying is like, inspirational is the fact that like it's coming from someone that like I know has like potential. Like I can see it's inspiring because I can see the change.
Yeah.
If you just talk like that to some, they're like, oh, like they sound like every other guru or whatever, you know, like talk to yourself better, like be this, you know, but like, because I know you and where you were just previously and then where you are now, it's like, cause I'm experiencing that change with you.
Yeah.
That's why it's inspiring.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
You usually don't get to see the opportunity to see that change happen. Oh, I would love for like, you know, like to see my friends to have positive, you know, impacts on their lives. And then, you know, they become better versions of themselves, even though they're all great now. It's just like, we all want to do more. So, well,
and I think that's part of it, right? Like I want the same for you. Like that's part of my big term and my why is for that. And like having that be the reason that I want so many things it's just making every day-to-day, like mundane thing feel more like, wow, like that's going to help me get there. And I love that so much. And like, I'm really trying to hold on to it, and I'm journaling about it, and like I'm doing the things, and I'm trying to meditate. I'm trying to just stay open and aware, because I just know that it won't always be as high as I am right now, but I'm going to do everything that I can to hold on to it.
Yeah. And hold on to it, girl. Hold on to it.
It's mine.
Like that little puppy we were talking about yesterday.
It's like downtown LA.
She's going to squeeze a little puppy because she's so happy.
When I love things, I love it too much sometimes.
Yeah. Alex, if there's any, you don't even need to pay her to like express her love for places. Like anytime, she's like her own hype man for any place that she loves. She's like, oh my gosh, this bar, you need to go check out. Blah, 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 blah. And she just, it's like, they didn't even ask. And she's like, oh, you should go. If anything, it's like, oh, they're going to downtown. I'm like, oh, go to this bar, go to this one. This one gives you this good vibe. Like, they didn't even ask for suggestions. She just feeds it to you.
I'm just like,
I love it.
I want you to experience all the things that I have. So go to these places.
Yeah. You just want people to experience the joy that you feel. For the same places.
True.
Yeah.
But I think that I feel great after this conversation. I'm like glowing.
I know.
I hope that you feel like
Yeah.
inspired also to, pursue your 2 challenges to get you out of your rut. Because I can see all of your potential. Like you've done it. You've created your business. Like I know that was at the beginning of the conversation, something that got you into it. But if you were to change that perspective potentially, right? Like I did this.
Yeah.
How many people do this? It might not have worked out, but like I could say I did it.
Yeah. It's changing my perspective on the confidence I feel about things too. Like sometimes I always see things in the negative light, which is funny because people say I'm usually a pretty positive person, but I think externally I'm pretty positive, but internally the way I communicate to myself, which Alex mentioned, is not the nicest sometimes. And I could definitely work on seeing the bright side of what I accomplish or what I've done, and taking that and maybe making that the focal point instead of like, oh, your business failed. Like, cause I know that's not all it is. Like,
yeah.
I know I just talk to myself incorrectly. So
it's okay. I'm here to remind you whenever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that at the end of the day, we're chasing to pursue our goals, get out of our ruts, and just chase our dreams, which is the common theme, right, for this entire process. But I think overall, this was great. Thank you for sharing. Love it. But thank you guys all for tuning in. We appreciate you staying with us this entire time. If you did make it. But Erica, let them know where they can find us.
So obviously you'll be either listening to this on Spotify or YouTube, and you can watch us on YouTube. So YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and then also on TikTok, Instagram, we'll have some clips. Obviously not the full episodes, but you can kind of view some little sneak peek tidbits there. And then, and then we'll be posting each week. So that's the goal. And so far, I think we're going to stick to that. But so we will see you weekly back here on the podcast, Chasing Me. So
thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.